I'm also deeply honored to have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Nandkumar Saravade. He's had an illustrious career with the IPS, and like all good people, he left it to have an even better career outside. So he's got vast experience in cybersecurity, fraud prevention, and law enforcement. Over 3 decades of diverse experience that straddles various domains, including public service, stint with the regulatory bodies, corporate security, and strategic advisory. He's had, like I said, an illustrious career in the IPS, with the CBI, with the Bank Fraud Division. He currently serves as a strategic advisor on security, ethics, innovation, and compliance. He was previously the CEO of the Reserve Bank of India's Information Technology Private Limited, REBIT it's called, from 2016 to 21. And he was instrumental in enhancing cybersecurity for India's financial sector. Frankly, RBI has done quite well, if you ask me, UPI-related frauds and things. A lot of it was all evolving under his domain because he was the founder CEO over there. He's also the CEO of the Data Security Council of India, where he led key initiatives to establish robust data protection. This is after two other stints, one with Citibank and one with ICICI. Like I said, he's worked in anti-corruption, he worked in the CBI, he's worked with NASCOM. Yesterday, someone was talking about fake biodatas. I think our earliest cybercrime, which was started of all people by a lot of IIT graduates. I think he had a role even on weeding that out, if I remember right. We go back a long way, so lots of memories come to mind when I'm reading this. Mr. Sarvade's contributions have had a profound impact on both public and private sectors, making him a respected authority in the fight against cybercrime. Mr. Nandkumar Saravade, let me tell you, he was in the IPS, so don't expect him to have all the answers of what the police should be doing. And second, he has actually played a pivotal role in some of the questions that Dr. Madi has raised, which is to say that if we have a digital system, what are the digital realities? We are not.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a wonderful opening by Yogesh and then the word batting by Mr. Mali. I don't think there is much left to cover about the modus operandi and other things. But since I've been in the IPS keeps coming up, I'm reminded of the old saying that once they bother the thief, so once a cop or a cop. So I'm not a cop for the last 20 years at least, 2008 onward. So, but I do hear about the law enforcement side of Florida. And first thing I want to say is that cybercrime is not police responsibility alone. And obviously, people have their expectations and they want to go to police and get the money back, put the criminals in jail and so on. But it's a very on hope. We know in India how effective police is and what is the state of governance, for whom the police works, etc., etc. But cybercrime is a problem which defeats the police capacity in all its, even if it would be double than triple, it will still be inadequate. But I come to that a bit later. I just thought I will touch upon some of the recent cases which have happened and also how cybercrime is different from traditional crime and how people who are living in a physical world, senior citizens especially, how they don't understand the cyber world that much and how that leads to different kind of problems. So digital arrest is much in news. Of course, when Prime Minister himself mentioned about digital arrest, I think that is a sure indicator that it is a problem which is concerning the topmost leadership in the country. And why is it a problem, right? Why should digital arrest be a problem in India in particular? And one has not heard of this problem elsewhere. Mr. Mani told about the IRS scam where people are told to call that IRS is calling and you pay taxes and these all will pay taxes. But that number of victims is very small and There are also subgroups in that immigration scam is there where people on visa and for overstaying visa are identified and they are caught and told that your visa has expired and we are going to come and arrest you, and those are the subset of people who respond to that. But in India, digital arrest is so big because we are all afraid of being arrested, right? And we know that there is no recourse if you are arrested. Whether it is police and increasingly the ED, CBI, TRAI, all authorities can be repurposed to say that you will be arrested and then you will spend time inside unless some bail can be obtained by moving the wheels of justice faster. In fact, today I was reading a story that Indian Express, very sad story. A woman sold her 3-month-old child to bail out her husband and sold for 1 lakh rupees. And that is the state of the criminal justice system in the country, where the word arrest has acquired a terrorizing connotations, and that is what is being used. I think that is the primary reason why digital arrest works, and it is being applied to the money by criminals. But this question is required to ask the citizens as to why are citizens afraid of enforcement agencies arresting them and putting them inside jail, and why everybody is paying. And when I say everybody, Mali, after the list of people who are paid, judges, IS officers, anybody who has money can be pardon the man. And you would recall 2016 when the US election was influenced or alleged to have been influenced. There was a firm called Cambridge Analytica which was much in the news. And this firm was buying data from Facebook, and they were using that data to specifically craft stories which will swing opinions of people. And somebody did a same operation on this particular government. And the CEO of the company said one very important thing, which still rings so true. He said people don't know what fears they have. And everybody has a fear, and the fear can be tapped. And this is what is being done at the election scale. This is what is being done at the individual scale. Once you start believing, make believe, then you will respond to things that are coming at you, and they will come at you at a speed and at a time which leaves you no judgment faculty at all. So this is the whole how people are being put under fear, and they are not being given time to think or consult anybody else. The other day, somebody came to me, old lady, and her husband is a well-known CEO of a company. And this man who has set up the company from scratch and made it grow a very large company, got this message because your mobile number is known to many people. I think the whole company called Truecaller does this for everyone, right? If you download Truecaller, you have to consent that your address book will be uploaded to the company's server, right? So if your address book has my number, whether I am aware or not, my number is uploaded there. And some third party who wants to look up this number and name will see my name there. Unless you go to Truecaller, make a request to delete your number, which you can do, and they will comply. So if you put my number, you will not find my name because I requested Truecaller to delete the name. But that is the nature of the game. That data is aggregated and it is put to different uses. Some of these are legal, some of these are not legal. But the fact is that if you are a known person with any profile, public figure, non-public figure, working in a company, retired, student, somebody who has a Facebook profile, your number will be there and somebody can find that number. In fact, this experiment has been done in India by just combining government databases, voter ID database, whatever is publicly available, it can be queried and data can be extracted and put together. By just combining these 3-4 databases, lot of information can be put together. There can be a full profile available about who a person is, where does he live, and so on. And so many data breaches are happening every day, right? I mean, just to quote examples of last month, Star Health Insurance, HDFC Life Insurance, both have acknowledged that their data has been compromised in 2.5 crore, 1.5 crore kind of data. Now, this is not the first one. The Aadhaar itself is alleged to have been compromised. There are many loopholes in that system because people are building systems have no time for security. You see any new locality coming up, police station is always in a makeshift place because nobody has thought police station is required to be built there. So the security by design is not considered, with the result that we have the genie is already out of the bottle by the time you start realizing that there is going to be a problem. So this, coming back to the story I was telling, this old man with very large asset base was put under digital arrest by somebody. And on what basis? That your parcel has been found with your Aadhaar card or passport copy or whatever, and now you will be arrested. And this is a man who can dial a phone and reach anybody, and he's given no time for thinking. He's just told to just keep the phone on, not to talk to anyone, lock the door, and then is being told to do things. And this is the kind of fear which is there. And in fact, the largest case, anybody can guess what is the largest amount involved in a digital arrest case in India till date? Absolutely. Mumbai case, 27 crore rupees lost by one person, a retired lady, again a senior citizen, who had worked in a multinational company, held senior positions, and she was put under digital arrest for 2 months. She liquidates all her savings, goes to banks, makes RTGS, and doesn't listen to anyone saying that, what are you doing? Because that is the lonely nature of senior citizens, right? Children are not here, nobody to confide in. And then we see these large numbers happening. But coming back, I think recently I4C, which is the MHA body which is now trying to deal with this problem, published numbers, they are into hundreds of crores, thousands of crores. Lakhs of people are being duped and hundreds of crores, thousands of crores are being lost. And why is this happening? Because we live in a world where there are no boundaries. Anybody can call you from anywhere in the world. Today morning I was receiving a call from Bahrain, and I will read you the number. I don't take unknown number calls, so that way there is nothing to worry about. So this number, so why Bahrain? Bahrain code is some 97, international code is starting with 97 something, which as a number is displayed looks like an Indian number. So if somebody is not cognizant, or the phone you are showing the Bahrain origin number, because iOS at least shows international call as an international call. People respond to it, and then you will hear a recording saying that, we tried to contact you, we were partially intercepted in love. This is all automated crime. The attackers are way ahead in terms of how they are going to attack. So digital arrest is one way it is happening. But there are multiple other tricks which are there. I think we heard about there used to be credit card frauds with promising a vacation, pre-vacation, reward points. Family member arrested. This is a very interesting call. As Mr. Mali said, the 45 seconds of audio, and the attacker can make a fake audio based on their signature. 45 seconds audio is so available in so many places. People upload their own singing, talking, and so on. There's so much publicly data available. Till recently, I think Facebook had default option as public profiles, right? Public profile means anybody in the world can look at the nice photos being posted, audios, videos being uploaded, and so on. and friends, non-friends, public, anybody could look at the data. So by taking this, a family member can be shown to be arrested and money can be extorted, and money is going frictionlessly on digital payment rails. KYC expired, get rich by trading stocks, you heard about this story. Earn big from easy tasks. This is an interesting thought which somebody might have heard of. You will be contacted, you will be told to look at YouTube videos and like them, and you will be paid based on how many likes you have. And once you get recruited in the scheme, you will be used as a mule later, because some money will come into account, some money will have to be transmitted elsewhere. And mules are not like evil people who are selling their account. They are actually victims who get recruited, and then they are doing things which at the behest of the attackers. All of this stuff is automated. There are no large armies sitting and doing call centers are running. But if you look at the number of calls being made out, Airtel recently published some 9 billion calls made in a month. Take calls, fraudulent calls being made. It's very huge. It's huge. I mean, of late, some measures are being taken to stop identify domestic numbers. Now calls are coming from abroad. Many of these calls are coming from countries like Cambodia, Myanmar. Indian techies are being taken there on job, promising them high-paying job. Then they are put in a slave compound and they are given the script and they are making calls. So borderless world works very well for cybercrime because you plug in one place, it comes to the other side. And this is the nature of the game, and this is very difficult to deal with. I mean, many people feel that awareness is the solution. Now, firstly, no person has time for security till it's too late. I mean, I used to work in a bank, and the bank would send mailers saying that, okay, this is the latest modus operandi, please beware. And you have to track how many mails are being opened and read. That number is always less than 10%. Most people just delete those mailers because too much to, like, we have other things to do. People who open the mails are already well aware of this fraud. So they are saying, okay, naya kya chal raha hai, dekhte hai. It is, in security engineering, it is said that security is orthogonal to functionality. मतलब आपको WhatsApp यूज करना है, आप बड़े पढ़ेंगे कि WhatsApp में क्या फ्रॉड हो सकते हैं. आप देखेंगे कि हाँ वीडियो पे से अपलोड करना है, ग्रुप कैसे बनाना है, ग्रुप कॉल कैसे करने हैं, एंड सो ऑन. So security is orthogonal. There is a very famous line I want to always quote. There is a poet called John Elia who has said, कौन सीखा है सिर्फ बातों से, कौन सीखा है सिर्फ बातों से, सबको एक हादसा जरूरी है. In school we read so many things, right? Take health. Eat vegetables, fruits, exercise, eat proteins, less carbs, don't eat too much sugar. Everything is known. In Marathi, there is a phrase, करते पण ओळख नाही. Understood but not implementable. So this hadsa is something which is happening now, but it is resulting into loss of money. I remember long back when I was working in a bank, there was a case where a mule was very creatively executed. What happens is, two people go to a bank ATM. There is somebody standing outside there saying that, look, I have come for some exam and I lost money. My father is going to send money, but I don't have my card with me. Can he send money to your account and just withdraw the money and give it to me? Very helpful, people are very helpful by nature. So this person receives the money into his account, he draws in cash to give to this person who was standing, who duly thanks him and goes away. And then later turns out that money came to a fraudulent account, and that account was flagged as somebody which had received a fraudulent transfer. As such, an accused person upon what became an accused person. So famously it is said that stock market really works on fear and greed, as they say. But in crime, you have other motivations also which are there. Helpfulness is also a motivation which is exploited to commit frauds. But I will come to this hadsa jewelry a bit later. when we talk of solutions. But I wanted to touch upon why cybercrime is different from physical crime. So firstly, in traditional crime, we all heard of Indian Penal Code, which is now different one. I don't know the new sections. But in IPC, there was theft 379, where somebody takes a material object out of the possession of another person without his consent. Theft. Then there are variations of that: cheating, misappropriation, criminal breach of trust, and so on. Most of these required the victim and the perpetrator to be together for the crime to happen. And as we grew up, we always were told to be on the lookout for signs of somebody who was a potential fraudster. So somebody who looked in a particular manner, who was a stranger, who was doing certain things, and so on. In cybercrime, this proximity of the perpetrator and the victim has been taken away. There is no need for this. The perpetrator is sitting somewhere else, victim is somewhere else, and this crime is happening. So this is very important to know in cybercrime, that this traditional construct of how we identified danger and risk as far as crime is concerned has gone away. Second is low transaction cost. I remember there was a story of a pickpocket who was arrested at Mumbai police many years back, I think 2005, 2007. And they were arrested after 25 years of successful business, as they confessed. And they would take a bus from Kulaba, and you go to Andheri, and they would board the bus, and then they would pickpocket, get down, wait for the next bus on the same route, get up, and so a lot of hard work involved in pickpocketing, right? And a lot of skill and a lot of luck. They were caught only after 25 years. And a burglar, when he goes to find which house to burgle, he has to go there, case it out, come back in the night, and enter, and a lot of risk involved. In cybercrime, all this is eliminated. Cybercriminals can just send emails, call up sitting in AC centers and all. So this is very easy crime to commit. That's why you see thousands and lakhs of numbers already, and reporting is low, as we know. How much is reported, how much is registered, etc. Catching criminals is difficult because cybercrime by nature is a cross-border crime. As criminals know that if they do local crime, it is very risky for them. But they can sit here and call people in Chennai. Somebody call people in Delhi, and so on. This is how it works. So the attacker and the victim are in two different states by definition, or they are in other country also, like it is happening from those Myanmar and Cambodia, Laos call centers. Money is moved to an account of a person in third state and is withdrawn in the fourth state. In traditional police investigation, this is a investigation with several thousand rupees of travel budget alone. So you have to go to all these places and collect evidence. So this is not going to happen. Police budgets are so low that we have stories of complaints being told to arrange for tickets, and that then the investigation team travels. That is the state of police funding in the country. It's a separate topic altogether. I will not touch that. So police, as far as cybercrime is concerned, are registering only 2% of the crime. This is a number given by the Union Home Minister. It's not an authentic number. Only 2% cases are being registered, 98% cases are just being filed. And this is at current volume. As volumes are going to grow up, these numbers will come down. It go to 1% or whatever. That's it. Because there's so much paperwork involved in traditional police investigation that it is impossible to do it in the traditional way. I used to be in NASCOM, and we used to do training programs for judges and prosecutors to help the cases move faster in the system. And judges would say, I had gone to the Judicial Academy in Bhopal. I was sitting between one Supreme Court judge and one High Court judge. And the High Court judge is telling me that, why should we know about this? Our job is to sit and listen to the prosecutor and the defense. They educate us what is the fact of the matter, what is the law, what is the technical element, and then we pass a judgment. And so that was the attitude then, this is thankfully many years ago. But if you see how many cyber crimes are taken up in trial, probably Mali will have the latest numbers. Nobody would want to touch them because appreciation of digital evidence is a new area altogether, and not many people really want to learn new things unnecessarily when there are so many old cases to take up. So cyber crimes as investigation as a way to solve cyber crimes is not going to work. So how do we tackle it then? We have to go upstream to prevent crimes and ensure that fewer crimes happen. And whatever is happening in an organized criminal manner is done as a Makoka kind of approach, Maharashtra Criminal Organized Crime Act, which has draconian provisions for arrest, etc. But you have to show organized crime working together, not only two arrests probably may not be a threshold sufficient. But so that is the different approach. So police in India is working in silos. State governments have full control on the state police. They don't collaborate with each other much. It's not like a bank. Like I always give this example to police officers, my former colleagues. You have account in one branch of a bank. You can go to any ATM of any bank in the country and withdraw money. Why can't the policing be like that? You have a crime, you go to the nearest police station and the case is transferred there, and of course, I-Force is doing it in some ways. But still, once the investigation starts, the investigating officer is the solo, lone wolf investigator who has to do it. And that model is outdated. And I was hoping that the new criminal law amendment, CRPC, would have addressed that. It has not addressed it. It just rehashed the old stuff and put in the new. And probably we'll see a new version, hopefully, soon, when this parceling out of investigation and closure and then triaging in terms of organized crime and not small cases, etc., will happen. And we'll see some details coming in, provided judges, prosecutors, and defense advocates also play ball. Okay, so these were differentiating factors about cybercrime. And we saw why people are parting money when it comes to, so one is the fear of authority that I talked about already. Second is lack of knowledge. How many people know what is an FIR, which is the nearest police station, what are your rights as a citizen when you want to file a complaint, and if you are accused, what are your rights when somebody comes to search your home or arrest you? The arresting party has to give you the grounds of arrest. You are entitled to legal representation. People don't know. I mean, they don't want to know. They don't have time. But I think senior citizens probably they have the time and they have the money, because most of the money in the society is with the senior citizens. You will agree? And they are rightfully or whatever, being targeted by fraudsters or frauds, because they know that these people have money. They can be easily scared and they will part with money because that's how it's working. But they can educate themselves about their rights and how the legal system works. Third is pressure and urgency. Mr. Mali spoke about it. By leaving no time and no bandwidth to think, they are being forced in taking decisions. Now, a little bit of biology. As we know, in our brain, there's an old brain and there's a new brain. Old brain is called the reptile brain because probably that's the time when it started hard coding impulses. And the new brain is the primate brain, which with prefrontal cortex and so on. So when there is a pressure situation, the old brain takes over. And those of you who are interested in the theory, you can read Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow, which talks about two systems. And the one system which is fast and very efficient has multiple responses. So when you are walking in a garden and you see a snake, what do? You stop, right? So that is the response known as freeze. And then there are other two responses called fight or flight, all three Fs, freeze, fight or flight. So you can maybe want to kill, if you are brave enough, you will kill the snake, or you will run away and change the path and go away. So these are the responses which are there. So when there is a crisis scenario which is created, digital arrest or child being arrested, etc., the brain stops thinking and it goes into old patterns of saying, okay, how do I get out of this? And the easiest thing is, okay, pay some money, because we all believe that most situations you can get away with that. Starting with traffic violations, right? That used to be the most common area where law enforcement and citizens would come in contact with each other. Signal jumping. And when I came to Mumbai in 1996, joined CBI, I heard this very crisp phrase, "Lapada nahi akada wo." So this is the mentality. I am in a hurry. Here is your whatever you quote and then I go, etc. But this is used by them. Say, okay, let me, and process will start the small amount because they also don't know how much money you have. They will say, 2 lakh rupees chalu, de do, ho jayega. Then they say, send your bank account. We want to see that you are not doing money laundering. Once they see your bank account, they know that you have enough money to give more. So that's how they excessively build up their demands. And urgency is same thing, like last day sale, last day of the sale. Kal se ye 20% discount band ho jayega. So many times we have said, okay, let me buy this TV, this something. Urgency is something which is used by marketers and fraudsters to expedite the decision. So the urgency is, if you don't pay now, somebody is going to come at a doorstep in next 2 hours, right? So this sense of urgency got created and then people responded. Emotional manipulation. There have been so many cases where person has gone for hiking, he's posting pictures and then says, okay, no, next 2 days I'm going to be out of coverage area. That person's number is picture, photo, video is used to call his family, saying that your son has met an accident, we need money, send money to the account. So emotional manipulation in different kind of ways which are possible, it will be used. The creativity of the fraudsters is something we admire, and it is then replicated because they are training their juniors all the time and getting them to, so they move up the value chain as they are called, as it's called, and the juniors are brought in and they are trained on these scripts. So these are the ways in which it is done. And of course, there are usual standard ways in which, you are told now to share sensitive information, etc. Verify caller identity. Activate do not disturb registry. I used to be much active on saying that, okay, I have registered DND. Anybody calling me with operation as reporting TRAI, that mechanism, I think has collapsed. TRAI not doing anything much about it. Telecom companies are also not doing much about it, and it's kind of free for all. We hear about blockchain-based solutions, but there is also a proposal to show the name of the person calling you. That I think is still in the pipeline, but I don't know how it's going to help, because you're ordering something on Amazon and you are expecting courier call, you will pick up any unknown number which is coming with whatever name you will get. So sometimes these solutions are driven by vendors and approved by people who have no clue what's happening on the ground. There's no research in this area because decisions are being made by gut feel or by some recommendation. And there is very little research on victim profiling in India, literally. Who are falling prey to these attacks? What are the locations? What can be done to protect them? All that is on Brahmaros. So, with this, let me come to some of the positive factors. One is, we talked about data breaches and how much data is out there already, and how they can convince. Like, if somebody calls you, and I was talking just before the session started, customer ID of bank. If somebody says, I'm calling from a bank, this is a customer ID. You will believe that, okay, the person seems to know my customer ID is from bank. Now, if this customer ID has been breached in a data breach, then this is a vector how the attack will succeed. Sometimes you go to a grocery shop, you have given your number, your reward point scheme, you buy something, and there are anecdotal examples that what you have bought is known to somebody. So they'll call you and say, okay, are you interested in this because you bought this? Data is constantly being collected, bought and sold, and that is the nature of the business because we don't have law about privacy in India. The law has been enacted, but the body which will enforce the law, the privacy board, digital privacy board, not set up yet. No rules have been notified. It's not a private area, though we have been talking about it from 2007 onwards. And I will tell you how I know about this. When I was in NASCOM, we were setting up a new company called, which now is called Data Security Council of India. And we were talking about, should we name it Data and Privacy Council of India? The privacy is always an important point from a cross-border. NASCOM does a lot of work here, NASCOM and NASCOM company. The data of customers from other countries was coming here, and they were very keen that India should have a privacy law so that the privacy of the data is protected. And we were in NASCOM trying to push that. And then we said, it seemed too long, let's keep it Data Security Council of India. And that's how the company got named. But 2007 onwards, privacy has been a topic. I think Sushita will remember the roundtable we did in Grand Hyatt when a lot of senior people came and we talked about privacy law and privacy issues and so on. But sadly, 2024, there's no law, effective law, because it has been notified. The body which will enforce laws to be created, and we have seen some successful prosecutions about companies failing to protect the data. That seems down the line, nothing has happened yet. So that is number one problem area that I see. Privacy is not taken seriously. There is no regulatory mechanism to enforce privacy. Somebody talked about greed being bad, like lalaks, right? Lalaks is such a loaded word in our language. But is greed bad? So many people have opened accounts in the stock market and they want to make money. Is it bad? Of course not. All of us want to make money in the legal way by taking some risk. There is a definition of how investment get made. Sorry? Yeah, so greed, regulated greed is actually necessary for society to release the animal spirits or whatever you have. That is the way a society will do more than what otherwise it would do. But, so greed is one of the motivators for investment, but it can be a motivator for a fraud. Because people, when they see large returns being promised, they don't see where they are downloading that app from. Is it coming from a registered investment or broker or whatever? Or is it being sent on WhatsApp by somebody who just says, isko aap download, isko aap install karo. Anything which is not being downloaded from the Play Store or the App Store is going to be risky and is never to be installed. So greed, I don't think we should blame greed. What is to be blamed is the overall ecosystem and how safe it is and whose job it is to keep the ecosystem safe. As just telling before the session began, as individuals, none of us have full knowledge of what all frauds are there. The onus goes back to people who have the resources, the responsibility, the legislative capability to solve the problem. It is barely a government, regulator, and ecosystem problem. Don't blame yourself that you are falling, but you have no hope to not fall if you don't know all the ways of falling for attacks. So it will happen because these buttons will press. You will get a call very early in the night. It happened in Mumbai. A lady working in MNC bank gets a call from her, purportedly from her son, who says, I have to submit the fee. I don't have the money, please remit the money. And she, at 2 o'clock in the night, half groggy, makes the transfer, and that call is a deepfake call, completely fabricated. So this will happen, and don't think that you will be proof against all attacks. So the ecosystem approach is required to be taken, and we have many things to do. So if you know telecom security, any number can be shown on this screen. Telephone number spoofing is so easy to do. And why is it so easy to do? Because the internet started as a trusted system, but telecom infrastructure in particular has not updated its security protocols because firstly, there is a cost. Secondly, intelligence agencies wanted to tap telecom, so they said, don't go to a stronger system. You will not be able to listen to this. So keep it as it is. And this is not India, this is also in the US. The Chinese hacked into the US networks, and now US agencies are saying, okay, you must upgrade the telecom protocol, and probably it will happen to the world in next 5-10 years. But this is the state of the affairs, that anybody can spoof numbers, anybody can send you SMS without any originating identifier. Recently, a Chinese person was arrested in, I think, Thailand. He had a machine which was sending out, which was basically acting as a tower, sending out thousands of SMSs to all telephones in that area, saying that your reward points are lapsing, click on this link and whatever. Some people fell for it. And that is the nature of technology. The SMS will not come from the telecom company, but it will come locally as a pushed message which people will believe has come from that. The telecom security is actually a very weak area, and that needs to improve. I talked about DPDP and its enforcement. Now, very interesting idea, I think. I don't know whether anybody will want to take it up. Banks have been told by RBI to do internal phishing attacks. So bank employees are regularly exposed by the bank themselves to send them phishing mails. And they are told not to click on links. Some people still click on links. Those people are called out and put under training saying that don't do it next time. And gradually the number expected to drop. Can this be done for customers? Banks send phishing mails to customers. Those who are clicking will be called by the bank saying that, okay, we send this mail to you. Don't do this if you receive any other similar mail. Government can call out citizens, and once the citizen starts saying, okay, आपको पैसा मिलेगा ये, then they say, okay, this is a fraud call. कोई आपको इसे देने वाला नहीं है. Don't fall for this. What did I tell about learning? हादसा जरूरी है. Hadsa in a controlled setting is very useful, like vaccination, right? COVID was there, vaccine was given. Vaccine is nothing but weaker form of the virus. It creates a response to the body which tells the body that if the real virus comes, you should be ready for it. So this Hadsa creation actually is a very interesting concept. It has been used by some banks. Some banks are using gamification, like, you know gamification? Gamification is you do something, you get a reward. Like initially, GPay and PhonePe, I don't use PhonePe, but GPay was giving rewards. Scratch the card, right? And you get some cashback ordered. That is called gamification. And why? That is the way GPay has grown, because people engage with the app. And the number grew, and that's how the user base grew. So the gamification is another technique where people can learn to do things which are in their interest. I'm not talking about the marketing campaign, I'm talking about security related learnings. So learning doesn't happen by awareness seminars. You people are already interested, so you are listening to me with some interest. But a lay person has no time for this. They have to be brought into the learning situation, and there's a teachable moment which has to be created, saying that, okay, aisa hai kya? Iski baat main jaan lu. So there are different learning theory variations which are well known, but there is an effort involved, there is a cost involved, and there is a driving involved which somebody has to do. And that has to be done by those who have the resources. And as Mari said, insurance bhi ho sakta hai, but insurance is like a post facto. अब तो हो गया ये होना, but उससे पहले prevention हम क्या कर सकते हैं वो सोचना जरूरी है. I think I have spoken a lot. We have been speaking a lot, so I will close now. But thank you for your attention.